Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Realm of Ori. In this video, we will continue with Volume 12, Chapter 1 The Staccato of Marching Jackboots, Part 8. And before we start, this video contains spoilers from the anime and manga series. And by the way guys, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon to get notifications for upcoming videos. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Nice to meet you, Demon Lord Guy-san. Even though it's my first time seeing you in person, I always knew you were strong. Ahahaha, you're not bad as well. Chloe, was it? People capable of using that power properly are, including me, quite scarce in number. Guy and Chloe exchanged greetings. Despite the friendly behavior between the two, I was on edge. This was because I didn't understand what had just happened. I couldn't track their movements even with my perception cranked up by a factor of 1 million. It became abundantly clear that this phenomenon wasn't due to some kind of super speed. Magic, or something else, perhaps. It's times like these that my trustworthy partner comes into play. Now, I request an explanation, Raphael-san. Report. Unknown. Failed to analyze and assess the phenomenon performed by individual Chloe Aubert. Seriously? For Wisdom King Raphael-san to say, I don't know, was certainly a rare sight to behold. I was definitely taken aback, but I glanced around to gauge everyone else's reactions. Leon and Ruminas appeared just as pale as I did. However, instead of being angered by Guy's actions, it felt as if they were desperate to understand what had taken place right in front of their eyes. The others were out of the question. They evidently didn't even notice the movement of the swords, so they couldn't have possibly recognized the dire situation. If anything, Diablo was the only one who looked remotely surprised. Maybe he had some idea of what had just occurred. I'd ask him about that later, but first, I had to stop Guy and Chloe. With an expression that read, "It's my turn," Chloe began attacking Guy. They were amicable enough when they exchanged greetings, so why is this happening? They crossed swords several times. It felt like I was watching a stop-motion animation. The continuity to the flow of their sword exchanges was non-existent, or so it seemed. This was bad. I couldn't fully follow everything, so this was all based on conjecture. Stop. I forced my body in between Chloe and Guy. It was a risky gamble trying to predict where they'd pop up next, but it thankfully worked. Hey, don't do anything rash. You could have been cut down by mistake. That's right, Rimuru. Guy wasn't seriously fighting, he was just testing me. Although, I'm really happy that you were so worried about me, Chloe reassured me, adding a hug and planting a kiss on my cheek. This, too, was another stop-motion movement. I'll declare that this was unavoidable force majeure. Speaking of Chloe, right as she kissed me, she became small again. No, it was more like she became the original Chloe again. She then yelled, while turning red and shaking with anger, "Enough. How dare you hug Rimuru-san on your own, and even key kiss? Was that Chronoa just now?" I asked. Yes. We switched in the middle. Apparently, while Chloe was the one who blocked the first attack, Chronoa took over for the rest of the battle. They looked completely identical, so telling the difference was a little challenging. As soon as Chloe calmed down, Leon cautioned, "Rimuru, I greatly appreciate the fact that you helped Chloe, but I cannot allow you to get any closer to her. Enough already, you worry too much, Leon Oni-chan." Guy, didn't you just say you wouldn't lay a hand on Chloe? Sorry, I was just testing her for a bit. Obviously, I had no intention of killing her. Even if that's the case, you shouldn't joke around with that level of strength, regardless of whether or not you had murderous intent. Leon was fairly angry and refused to back down against Guy, given his long-winded complaint. It was Chloe herself that intervened between the two, desperately explaining that Guy had no intention of hurting her, and that she wanted to test Guy's strength as well. Consequently, Chronoa seemed to have gone on a slight rampage, so it wasn't entirely Guy's fault. Perhaps Chloe, no, Chronoa, wanted a glimpse of how strong Guy, the cause of her death in the future, was. The current situation was entirely different from the future that Chronoa experienced. She possessed a new power that she never had before. If my memory serves me correctly, I believe it was the ultimate skill, Spacetime King Yog-Sothoth. Chronoa was rather interested to see if that power would work on Guy. One possibility has emerged. Assuming that the individual, Chloe Aubert, can use the power of the unique skill, time travel, which has been integrated into ultimate skill, Yog-Sothoth, to control time, analyze and assess will always fail, since it is impossible to observe phenomena that are not on the same time axis. Is that so? The true nature of the power that Chloe acquired was the ability to stop time, or something to that effect. Well yeah, it's hard to understand something you can't even observe. In short, Chloe was the one who made that power her own. Needless to say, I wouldn't be able to see anything even with my perceptual speed stretched by a million. There was no way for us, whose bodies yielded to the flow of time, to perceive events that happened in a frozen world. No, hold on a second. If we assume that is correct, then doesn't that mean those who can't reach that time-frozen world will never win against those that have, no matter how strong they are? Answer: that presumption is likely correct. Hey, you're kidding me, right? As much as I didn't want to believe it, I had no choice but to at least acknowledge that potential. I mean, even Chronoa was once killed by Guy. It was only natural that if someone could willfully stop time, then you never stood a chance. On the other hand, if we applied the same reasoning, didn't that mean Chloe could stand up to Guy right now? Even though she bore the appearance of a cute little girl, Chloe's strength had already surpassed mine. In the end, Leon gave in and a settlement was reached. Just like you care deeply for Ruminas, I care deeply for Chloe. Keep that in mind, Leon warned. I feel the same as well, Guy. I certainly admit that you are the strongest, but it would hurt to lose our cooperation, wouldn't it? Unless you are serious about antagonizing her, know that laying a hand on Chloe will make us enemies. Ruminas seemed like she was also secretly upset and joined Leon in berating Guy. Okay, I don't want any trouble either. As long as she doesn't get in my way, I won't mess around with your precious thing. Surprisingly, Guy was rather understanding, and so the safety of Chloe was secured. Meanwhile, our beloved Chloe was far stronger than any of us, but it was probably better to keep that to myself. The sun was already setting when the meeting ended. Shuna had thankfully prepared dinner, so we moved to a different location and started the banquet. On today's menu was kakuni pork. This wasn't one of our multi-course meals, given that today's meeting was unplanned, so I refused to hear any complaints. What is this? There's no tempura, Ruminas grumbled aloud. Who knew she was such a big fan of it? It's all right, Ruminas. This should be very tasty as well. You must not underestimate Rimuru's obsession with food. Hinata took my side out of nowhere. Not sure how I should take that kind of compliment if that's the only thing I'm getting praised for. I see. Your country's dishes are somewhat okay too, Guy noted, sounding impressed. It has a strange taste, but at this level, I suppose it passes. What Hinata said is right. This is another abnormal dish, but it is remarkably delicious. It's amazing as usual. It's a taste that I've really missed. Getting another chance to eat this meal makes me glad to be alive. Ruminas appeared content, and Hinata was extremely overjoyed. No, come to think of it, isn't this the first kakuni pork and rice she's had in 2,000 years? Maybe white rice would have been better? Thank you for your concern. I've already gotten used to these kinds of odd-looking foods. In the end, the banquet concluded with favorable feedback. The demon lords quickly prepared to leave as soon as they were done eating. Chloe, if you don't like it here, don't hesitate to call me. I will come get you right away, Leon said sourly, seemingly refusing to give up. There was a major dispute on the topic of who would take care of Chloe. My friends are here, and I like the place where Rimuru-san is. Although we all respected Chloe's decision, I had my doubts that Leon would so readily accept it. Oni-chan, I was very happy to know that you were concerned for me. But you don't have to worry like that. Because I am not a little kid anymore. Leon gave a gentle smile and patted Chloe's head. She finally let go of him and changed to her adult form. See, if I borrow Chronoa's power, I can change back to my grown-up form, so Oni-chan doesn't have to worry about me anymore. I see, you have become an amazing woman. But that won't change the fact that I care about you. You may rely on me anytime, Leon declared to Chloe with a tender smile on his face. I can only hope to imitate something like that, I thought to myself from the sidelines, but then, Leon suddenly turned around and stared at me coldly. Chloe said that she became an adult. Don't tell me you know. I'm asexual, so there's no way that can happen. I believe you are already well aware of this, but never do anything that would expose Chloe to danger. Although I did think that he was being overprotective, Leon had used every tool at his disposal to look for Chloe, who got swept up in the world transfer along with him, so it wasn't as though I couldn't understand his worry, either. On the bright side, he also returned home quietly. I promised to bring Chloe for a visit next time, and thanks to her, we might be able to establish diplomatic relations with El Dorado, which Demon Lord Leon ruled over. Well, I suppose you have settled down where you are comfortable. Chloe, you are an important friend to me. I'm here for you if you ever need anything, so don't hesitate to ask me for help. Please take care of yourself. Just like Leon, Ruminas also fretted over Chloe. Ruminas said her goodbyes and departed with her entourage. Since Hinata was also gone, the only person that remained was Guy. When I turned my head to see if he would leave, I saw Diablo still glued to his side. He began to speak. Now then, shall we continue what I wasn't able to finish a while ago? No, I've heard enough of that already, so it's quite alright, Guy reassured. Kufufufu, there is no need to be shy. Stop giving me weird invitations. What the heck are you doing, Diablo? Tisk, then I have no other choice. Let's change the subject to the topic you wanted to hear about, the task Testarossa and the other girls took, and anecdotes about Rimuru-sama. Just how much does this guy want to talk? No, you guys seem extremely busy right now, so I'll come by again when things settle down. Guy urgently declined and quickly ran away. I was strangely impressed by the fact that even Guy had times where he was taken aback. After witnessing such an unexpected side of him, it made me think he wasn't the unreasonable type. I still couldn't afford to be careless around him, but maybe I didn't have to worry as much as I thought. Since he accepted that Chloe was a hero, I guess we could tentatively declare that all the big problems had been dealt with. Now, the only things left unsettled were Yuki's movements and the intentions of the Eastern Empire, where he ran off to. I would put aside whether or not we would trust Yuki for now. A war, huh? I sighed quietly to myself. Solve one problem and another pops up. I felt depressed and thought about how nice it would be if things became peaceful again soon. Since there was nothing I could accomplish by complaining, I decided to devise countermeasures. First, we had to begin defensive preparations and ensure that if we wound up waging war with the Empire, we could handle them. Let's be prepared for anything. I silently strengthened my resolve.